Hi, my name is Cindy Pahr. I'm a certified brain injury specialist trainer and a special education specialist. I've worked with children and adolescents with brain injuries from kindergarten all the way through high school and into college. Today, I would like to address the impact of distance learning on students with traumatic and acquired brain injuries, on their families and their teachers, and also to provide you with strategies to help navigate through this difficult time. COVID-19 brings a new and challenging dimension to learning and recovery for students with brain injuries. And while teachers are busy becoming familiar with distance learning models and formats, creating whole class lessons, students are sometimes left to navigate this whole new world of learning with less support than they had in the brick and mortar setting. Hoping to prepare students for the fall school year, teachers are trying to cover the same amount of content they would in the brick and mortar school. This is challenging for all students, but particularly challenging for those recovering from brain injuries. Much of the special education teacher's time is spent collaborating with the general education teacher, working with families and the student to reduce the amount of work to be completed and to provide strategies to support. This is challenging to do from a distance. Our parents are trying to decipher teachers' expectations for their child, often relying on their child's perception of what needs to be done, which is compromised by memory and processing issues, resulting in misunderstandings. In our large urban school district here in San Diego, much of the special education teacher's time is spent coaching parents on intervention strategies for managing behavior, visual supports for learning, as well as working with them on the technology use that the students use to access their learning. We've all become critically aware that through this pandemic, distance learning is no substitute for the brick and mortar school, direct instruction, or hands-on support. The challenges that elementary, middle school, and high school students face is different, but the stress is often the same. Many families are challenged with the fallout from the lack of daily structure that schools provide. Parents see increased dysregulation, negative behaviors, sometimes tantrums, resulting in stress on the family and the child. One of our little first graders was having a tremendous difficulty with behavior. They increase with the lack of structure in the home. The parents needed support through movement activities because this was the avenue that best helped the child with regulation. Websites such as Go Noodle help support young children with movement activities coupled with academic learning. So a great resource for parents. High school students are experiencing depression, lack of success, increased headaches or migraines due to the pressure and frustration that they feel from the lack of clarity or support for the assignments that they're tasked to do. Now, computers are the only source of connection with their schools, their teachers, and their classmates. And appropriate amounts of screen time need to be adhered to by the schools, which means younger children have less screen time, so less connection with their school, their teacher, and their classmates. High school students may have less online class time per week with their teachers, but then they have substantially more time on the computer screen to access their work, create their work, and turn it in. This results in too much screen time, which becomes a problem because screen time often results in eye strain, headaches, increased fatigue, and frustration due to light or photosensitivity to the light spectrum on the screen. Breaks are important. We'll talk about breaks in a minute, but we need to take breaks in between computer use to rest the mind, the brain, the eyes. Using light filters can be very effective to filter out the frequencies of light that irritate people with brain injury. I find a violet filter works very well to calm the light and the eyes. And I even see the body calming with kids when they put these on. So a violet filter in these glasses is very effective. Or sometimes research shows that blue, green, or red filters also are helpful to lessen the irritation of the computer screen. It depends on the individual. You'll just try them out. Middle and high school students are often left with pre-recorded sessions from their teachers and group office hours to get support. But this leaves little or no time for one-to-one instruction that they require, or to be able to ask questions, to process information, and to employ the strategies they need to support their memory. I'd like to read you an excerpt of an email that I received from a high school student struggling after a recent significant concussion, needing intervention, but then we went into the pandemic quarantine. This is what she says. Online school has been very difficult for me. The best part about school is being able to see my friends every day. And without them, it's hard to stay calm. It feels like my teachers are assigning more work than they did before the quarantine, and it's hard to catch up. My concentration issues have increased due to more distractions at home. Additionally, I'm doing my best to understand written instructions given by my teachers, but it can be difficult, as I used to ask questions during their explanation in order to fully understand my work. I had a packed, busy day with about 11 hours of homework. No, that's not a good idea. We need to cut back on the work, right? She says, with anxiety and migraines, I try my best throughout the week, but have ended up having to complete 3 long assignments in one day. My biggest issue is trying to get the work done. You see, our students want to try to succeed and recover, and they do too much, and that brings on symptoms. She said, it's hard learning a lesson by myself. I feel horrible deciding not to do some of the work, but it's too much, and it's getting way too overwhelming. I start to cry because I can't handle it, and I'm not sure what to do. We need to offer support for our students. Students are challenged with navigating the requirements of school, like she had mentioned, all the assignments, understanding the content without in-class time with their teachers or less in-class time. And then the structure of online classes requires navigation between websites, clicking on links, going back and forth in between screens. This is all overwhelming for the child with a brain injury. So, trying to understand what's expected and what the accommodations are, such as a shortened assignment, is confusing for students with brain injuries. Teachers can help by simplifying or minimizing the tasks and assignments. But if it is not clearly stated concretely for the student, there can be an issue. We recommend that the teacher and the student meet online in a class session individually to review the shortened assignment specifically. Then follow up by asking the student to explain what they understand, and then provide visual reference. An email is a great way to do this, with a bulleted summary of the conversation to support the memory. So this is what you need to do, 1, 2, 3, right? Keep it simple. Teachers can help them with their schoolwork through organizing the planning of doing all the work, providing checklists and other visuals, as well as reteaching the instructional material at a slower pace so they may understand. Of course, this is challenging in distance learning. The one-to-one meetings with the teacher and the student do offer a more personalized approach, but be aware that arranging these sessions can be time-consuming because most, if not all, districts require another adult to be present, either the parent or another teacher online, teacher or an assistant online, for safety reasons. In the home, parents need support to create a structure for their children because the home setting is unstructured by its nature. A predictable, consistent schedule provides calm for the student. However, it's not realistic to have a schedule all day long at home, but just provide one for a portion of the day. Visual schedules can be extremely helpful. So for our elementary students, here's an example. Let's say in the morning we have a Zoom class, and then take a break and have a snack. Then do some work for your teacher. Then do a Go Noodle movement exercise or another type of a break. And then maybe story time. Read a story, listen to a story. Okay? Simple. Checklist, breaks in between. For high school students, this can be very difficult, juggling, and middle school as well, excuse me, all the classes, the assignments, when they're due, what's happening. So this is an actual example of a Monday schedule for one of my high school students. Zoom class, and then two of the teachers have a mini assignment that's about 5 minutes long, checklist that they check off. Do each of those, then take a break. Check your biology chart to see if there's a lecture to listen to and fill in a note sheet, then take a break. And in the afternoon, work with your special education teacher on biology, relearning and teaching biology. So this is a simple schedule, and each day for this student is different because the classes are different. But it provides a context and a framework so that they know the parameters of what they need to do, and it's infused with breaks. So you're hearing me talk about breaks a lot. Breaks are extremely important. They're extremely important because we have cognitive fatigue. We have visual fatigue from the computer screen, right? And so here are some break suggestions. Leave the computer, right? Take a short walk. Take a nap. Sit outside in the shade. Spend some time with a pet. Listen to soft, familiar music. And I say familiar because we don't want to be processing new lyrics, processing new language. That's cognition. That's work. We're trying not to work. We're resting. Take a break from the computer, of course. Maybe do some relaxation exercises, yoga or breathing. These are just some suggestions. There are many more. Watch your language when you're working with your child. What I mean by that is slow down, especially if they have language processing issues. Speak more in phrases. Take some pauses. This allows the child to process what you're saying. Then follow it up by asking what the child understood about what you said. Not just, did you understand? What did you understand? Then you'll know where the gaps are. And then write it down. So they have a reference, a visual reference. So even with your home activities, you could say, go brush your teeth, change your clothes, and put your pajamas in the hamper. And they walk away and they maybe remember one of the things you said. But if you write it down, that they can take it with them, brush teeth, get dressed, PJs and hamper, they have a visual reference to go back to. You could take pictures as well. It's real important to have that supplementary support to aid the memory, and it lessens frustration. Communicate with your teachers, because if they don't know the struggles that you're having, they can't help fix it. If the workload is too much, let them know so we can cut that back. I know it's a challenge because it's hard for everyone to understand the needs of our students, but we need to make them aware by letting them know, this is too much. My child's having migraines. They cannot do this pace of work. So we're going to maybe use filters through glasses for computers, take breaks, use visual schedules and notes, watch your language, slow it down, communicate with your teachers. These are very helpful strategies. This pandemic and our isolation for safety are trying for families and students, especially those with brain injuries. Teachers have a whole new world of instruction that's not ideal. We're doing the best we can. Employing strategies and with consideration to the recovery process will help calm the situation. The focus should not be on the volume of work or the full content of work at this time, but with learning at appropriate paces to help facilitate learning and not to increase symptoms from brain injury. We will all get through this and hopefully in not too long return back to brick and mortar schools and pick the pace up. But until then, be gentle with yourselves.